When I first got started out, I was broke. How do I know this? Because I started tracking my net worth every single year starting back in 2013. Have a look. Here we can see my net worth is negative $104,156. And what that means is if I would sell everything that I owned, cars, houses, literally everything, I would still owe even more money than that. So becoming a millionaire today, it was no easy feat, but it was doable. But I'll say I thought it would never happen. I thought I was just destined to, go to work, do my thing, but never really actually become a millionaire. If you've ever felt like that, I feel you. And I hope today's video inspires you. In this video, I'm gonna take you through the steps that I took to get from that negative $100,000 net worth all the way up to $1 million. And I'll mention that I did not inherit a single dime. I worked hard to get this money. So if you have an inheritance, that's great for you, but nothing here. Oh, and remember, this is all net worth. I don't have like a pile of money sitting around. And a lot of people ask, do you feel different now that you're a millionaire? And I'm like, no, not really. In fact, it feels just like yesterday. Nothing really has changed. So if you're ready, let me take you through my millionaire net worth, followed up by the steps that I took to get to this millionaire status and how you can as well. And then I'll take you year by year from 2013 when I started tracking my net worth all the way to this year in 2024. So as I kind of mentioned, being a millionaire does not mean that you make $1 million a year. It actually means that your net worth is $1 million. And how you calculate that, add up everything that you own, your cars, your house, anything that you have. And that's called assets, things that you could sell for money. Then look at everything that you own to somebody. So let's say you have a student loan that you have to pay off. You have a car loan, you have a mortgage. Add all those things up. Those are called liabilities. And what you do is you take what you owe minus what you own, and that equals net worth. And if that number is $1 million or more, congratulations, you're now a millionaire. Now, if that number equals $600,000, hey, own it. Congratulations, you're a 100,000-aire, and you're on your way to $1 million. Heck, if that number, what you owe minus what you own, only equals $500, you're a 100-aire. Congratulations, because you're on your way to build up over time with compound interest and smart investment choices. And if your number is negative like mine was, don't worry. I've obviously been there and there's a way out. So here it is, my total net worth of currently $1,059,000, and here is how it's broken out. I'm actually going to start with my liabilities, what I owe, and that is $0. Now, if you haven't followed my channel before, I have completely paid off debt, everything, student loans, house, car. It was difficult. And I gotta pause there and stop for a second and say, the difficulty of that is like climbing up a mountain. You start and you're like, oh my gosh, that mountain is so high. How am I getting to the top of that thing? It's gonna take forever. And then all of a sudden, have you ever had this? Like you get to the top of the mountain, or let's say you finish a project, you study hard for a test and you finish that test. And then once it's over, it actually feels better. And you're like, that actually wasn't bad after all. That's kind of what this debt payoff felt like. In a moment, you feel it's never, ever gonna go away. You're stuck with it forever. The thing's never gone. And then once you're there, you look back and you're like, it wasn't that bad. Despite the fact that you sacrificed, despite the fact that you were depressed, sad, all these things. As far as assets, let's go through them. Cash on hand. This includes my emergency fund and everything in between. Any type of liquid cash I have is $49,000. I have a taxable brokerage account at $125,000. My Webull account, as you know, I like Webull, one of my favorite investment apps. That is sitting at $40,000. Robinhood currently sits at $12,000. That actually makes up the $5 a day challenge that I've been doing since January of 2022. So part of that is made up of that $12,000 right there in Robinhood. Retirement accounts are sitting at $250,000. Kids accounts, which includes both college savings funds and some money that we're saving for their future, is at $33,000, and my house value at $550,000. That is what equals $1,059,000. Now I have a goal. I want to become a cash millionaire, and that means building up my investments so that investments alone equaling $1 million. Because right now, the net worth is made up of my house, but that's my primary residence. I'm not planning to sell anytime soon. So the trick with that is that makes up 50% of that overall net worth. Next step, next goal, cash millionaire. But remember, if your house is paid off, or even if it's not paid off, whatever equity you have in your house, that counts under the asset column. to get you to that millionaire status. So own it and take advantage of it. Now, let's talk about the steps I took to get to this $1 million. And there's some steps I would have changed and not have actually done if I would have to go back and repeat all of this again. And I'll share that with you as we go through this. But some of you may not know, I'm actually a Dave Ramsey baby step millionaire. I followed the Dave Ramsey program. That's actually what got me started, believe it or not, into all of this. It was 2013 and I learned about the total money makeover and I said, what the heck? Let me see what I can do, because we got these student loans, we got these car loans, credit cards, all these things. We just got to get rid of this debt. Then I got hooked. I drank the Kool-Aid, whatever you want to call it. And I decided to go through every single baby step, from baby step 1 all the way up to baby step 7. And yes, it felt like climbing that mountain like I shared earlier. I figured I would never get out of baby step 2. I felt stuck in baby step 3. So I got this passion, as you can see right here with the baby steps, 7 baby steps to take you from where you are today with your money to getting yourself set up ultimately to be a millionaire. But I let that passion take control of me. And that passion being, I want to control my life. So what Dave Ramsey tells you to do when you start baby step 1 and you're building up your starter emergency fund, and then you step into the debt payoff in baby step number 2, he basically says, stop investing altogether. And that means your company match on a 401k or any type of retirement tax advantaged investment. Stop everything and put all your money to the debt. But I looking back on that, I disagree with that completely. I wish I would have put that money into some type of retirement account, especially because I had a company match at the time, and I gave that up over those years. Compound interest can be powerful, and that's why on the Sweet Life success levels, I'm actually saying to do the match first, because here your company's trying to give you money as long as you invest money in your retirement account. And if you take advantage of that, you're getting free money, you're getting a free raise, you're getting a free bonus, whatever you want to call it. Take advantage of it. I wish I would have. Let's take a hypothetical scenario here. Let's say you make $50,000 a year and your company matches 6% dollar for dollar. So if you put in 6% of your salary for the year into a 401k, they're going to match 100% of that. Here's a very cool calculator I found just to simulate this scenario. Who wants more ice cream? Your employer literally is trying to give you scoops of ice cream and you're saying, nope, I don't want it. I don't want the match because I'm not contributing to my 401k. And that's the big issue that we're seeing here. So take a look at this. If you made $50,000 and you're going to contribute 6% or $250 a month, your employer will match 100% up to that 6%. So if I calculate that, have a look at this. You could be missing out on a lot of money by not contributing. But if we think about this, because you're only putting in $250 a month, your employer is matching $250 a month, that means your total monthly contribution will be $500. So let's say, for example, you take the Dave Ramsey route of not putting any money toward retirement until you get through baby step 2 and 3. Now, for some people, that could take like 3, 4, or 5 years. So in this example, let's say you take your contribution plus the company match, and we're going to look at this compound interest over the course of, let's say, 6 years until you get to that baby step. You got a lot of debt to pay off, so you're pausing everything and you're going to contribute a total of $500, and we're going to keep it like that. We're going to pretend you never get a raise, you're never contributing more. The company match stays the same, $500 a month for 6 years at an inflation-adjusted return of 7% rate of return per year. Look at your total balance over those 6 years. It's $44,000. You're giving up the ability to grow the account by $44,000. So think about it in that case. That's why I would have changed this, and I probably would have accelerated to a millionaire even quicker. So let's take that $44,000 just for fun, and we're going to apply 30 years from now. So let's say you give up a couple years because you're doing the Dave Ramsey program, and you give up the match, and it could have given you $44,000, but instead you didn't. But let's say you did. You have $44,000. What happens after 30 years if you were to have followed the Sweet Life success steps that I'm talking about and just started with the company match instead of the Dave Ramsey program? Well, look at this. 30 years at a 7% rate of return gives you $337,000 that you're missing out on. Hello, that could be the difference between millionaire status or not, or that could be the difference of a cash millionaire or not. And that could be very healthy in the future when you need extra money to live off of to live your completely free, peaceful life. That's really the key here when it comes down to following those steps. And that's what I would have done differently. But then that brings us to the final point here is something that I want to use as an inspiration. So it started way back in 2013, as you see. I have a negative net balance of $104,000. My assets only equaled $116,000. I only had $2,900 on cash on hand. I had stocks of only $113. My retirement account was only $6,000. I did at the time look at my car value. I don't actually use cars as my assets anymore, but back then I did. And my house value was only $85,000 back then. If you look at the mortgage I had, the car loan, the student loans, I owed more than I owned, and that's why I was negative. I followed the Dave Ramsey program starting in 2013. So in 2014, we paid off the student loans, as you see right here. The house value started going back up because we were getting out of the Great Recession of 2008, and now my net worth was only negative $52,000. So things were actually improving. That's a very good thing, to be down by $50,000 in a good way. Then 2015 comes, I'm still in the hole, but here's where things started to change. In 2016, the mortgage is getting lower. The car loan is only at $2,000. We paid off the other car. We start really amping up our investments. And we get a positive net worth of only $37,000, but it's something to celebrate. And if you get to that point, once you transverse between the negative and the positive, give yourself a pat on the back. That's something to be super excited about. In 2017, as you can see, our net worth went to $104,000, 2018, $203,000, and then things started really ramping up. In 2019, $253,000, 2020, $338,000, 2021, $671,000, and that's as a result of some significant work on a lot of side hustles, on a lot of different things. I was working 7 days a week doing my job and my side hustles. I did not sleep. I did not have any free time. But the reason I did that back in 2020 to 2021 is, first of all, I got very scared of the COVID layoffs and things like that. And then also I said, I have got to take control of my life. I don't want anything to come in the way of my perfect dream life. And having debt, having a ball and chain will keep me further away from that. So I'm going to find every way possible to make as much money as I can to slam it down, slam all the debt away. And that includes the mortgage. And that's what we were doing during that time, which is why you see in 2020, the net worth goes from $338,000 all the way up to $671,000. 2022, at the end of 22, we were at $837,000, no longer had the mortgage, don't have anything going on, and then things accelerate. Because I don't have a mortgage payment, we're able to invest so much more money. While I don't work as hard as I used to when we were trying to pay down the debt, any extra income from the side hustles, from YouTube, from things like that, can go directly into the investments, and it's super, super exciting. And that's what hit us to a $1 million net worth this past year in 2023. The point is, I'm super humbled by this, but at the same time, I think the secret sauce, if you're looking for the secret silver bullet, here it is. I'm going to give it to you. It's really consistency. Whether you like to hear that or not, it's so true. I just had to stay consistent with it. Sometimes I fell off track, and maybe I could have gotten to a millionaire status earlier than I did, but I got here anyway, and you can too. Check out this video next for more awesome content, and we'll see you on the next video.